Oh, welcome back. This is what we're watching now is my third attempt trying to get normal a win doing the 31 synergy challenge. And what's really fun is this right now is my second attempt trying to do some commentary for this game because my first attempt I did not realize that I had the mic muted on OBS. So, but you know, that's fine. It just means I'm going to have extra knowledge looking over this game and extra self hatred for myself for having to do this again, but that's fine. I'm going to keep this fun. I'm going to keep this commentary real epic. I'm going to keep digging as always because I love to dig and see if we can get any normal units on the bench while we're digging. I always love digging because, I mean, if you can do it before stage 10, you might as well see if you can uncover any gems. And it's fine if you lose streak. You'll at least get some good economy. And in the meantime, we're also getting some defensive items. We could take the Miracle Seed to really invest on our bulk. We already got the seed. I mean, not the seed. We got the heart scale and the ice. So the seed is a natural choice. Spoon is good too. Probably pretty good to go for normal, especially if we get some overlap with sound. Charcoal's also good. Always nice to have the choice to be able to go with protective pads in case you have a dragon team that you need to deal with, or you have another normal team or anything that adds shield. But what we take now is actually the fossil stone, which is really nice because having normal, you're going to get those scarves, and being able to pivot with your side synergies is much easier when you have the friend bow. So I'm going to utilize that to see if I can get some splash with probably sound. There's always a normal and field overlap, but that relies a bit on ad picks, and the synergies, they don't clash necessarily, but I don't think they overlap super well either. I don't think there's any backline field normal units, so that overlap isn't going to help a whole lot if your front line is dying and not getting the field stacks in time for it to really matter. That being said, we do have a Graveler, so we're not immediately starting a lose streak. We have the option to take another stone if we want another friend bow in the future, but the mystical water is pretty nice to have if you're going for some ability power sets, especially with sound, of course. Just to reiterate that point, you're going to want to have sound. It gives mana or PP, but being able to use this whole do to get like a... Sorry, my brain just absolutely had a car crash, but what I meant to say is it's good to have the Mystic Water in case you want to get a Soul Dew. And then splash on, whatever else you need. And by splash on, I mean add more ability power items. We do start off with 2 wins though, so a win streak, is on the cards. Maybe we could add like a Sticky Barb Shell Bell to the Graveler, but it's worth keeping on to those items. I'm not sure why I'm hovering over the Mystic Water so long. Maybe I was AFK, but either way, we also get the Jigglypuff on our back line, which could help, put some things to sleep. But we are facing... I immediately sell the Rattata because it's pretty hard to beat a muscle band Lairon on stage 6. So fair play, get to 30 gold. Get 2 Doug's Hold and we get some trash, which doesn't really help us. And I elect to just try and dig 2 more holes. Try to get 2 more holes by probably like stage 12. And then just keep the Graveler in a fully dug hold and see if that would allow us to at least not lose as much HP in the next few rounds that we're probably going to lose because we chose not to itemize anything. And because we sold the Rattata, we don't have enough stuff on the bench to play normal yet, which is fine. We still have plenty of time to get normal synergy active for the Gyarados portal, or the Gyarados PvE, and then the portal later. And we can choose between Fossil or Spoon, but we take the Fossil. We take the Spoon, excuse me, because Soldew would be pretty nice to have, or any ability power right now, because even if we don't go fully into sound along with normal, having a little bit of sound is going to be nice. I think sound, it does give power points even at like 2 and 4, if I recall correctly. And it's also nice to have extra ability power stuff, because once you get to normal 9, anything with the Silk Scarf made item is going to get more ability power. Also, sound does not give extra PP until stage 6 for the sound synergy. I was mistaken there, but either way, we do get a ground gem, which is potentially really, really good. It's only a single ground, but it could allow you to dig alongside normal, because there is some additional picks that normal has, like Hippowdon, Diggersby, and Sandslash. And I wonder if I'm blanking on any more. I feel like there's more. There should be, because I've tried to go for the normal ground overlap a few times, and there's also Diglett. I forgot about. But one time, something really fun I did was I was able to get 9 normal and 8 ground on a single game. And how I did that was mostly thanks to luck, but also some good additional picks, but mostly luck again. Because what happened was I dug up, I think, like 3 normal gems with ground, and that's just OP. It's insanity, really. But I'm looking at the team planner right now, and there's also Sentret and Dunsparce, so that's potentially 6 natural overlap between ground and normal, and 3 normal gems is just free normal ground team. But with that said, it's possible to just get 3 fossil stones and then use silk scarfs to make up that difference. But it's kind of insane. It is a lot of bulk. It is a lot of attack if you max out both sides of those synergies. And enough about that, though. Let's look at the current team we're playing. We do splash, or not splash, but we transition into a fully normal team and put the Friendbow on the Graveler for now, along with a Big Eater Belt, which Big Eater Belt is a fantastic item. It's great, but what I'm using it for right now is honestly not that great, because the Shell Bell, I think it gives a little bit of attack and special defense, but it's like 3 for each. The item is only useful on its secondary effect, or not secondary effect, but what the item primarily is used for, which is healing from the damage that you deal. And so the Big Eater belt isn't going to get much stats from that, along with being like in a ground to 3 depth hole plus the normal shields. The normal shield is fine, but it's not crazy. Basically what I'm saying is that Big Eater belt isn't that great on the Graveler. Probably be good on the Kamala, which has 50 base special attack just with the boots, and then that'll just increase over time with the Soul Dew. And then getting the Whismer is nice, as well as the Togepi. Having that alongside Jigglypuff will be nice for the Long Wand. That'll make both of those 2 units have 3 range, which is nice for a even better backline. And I also hold the Clauncher on the bench, because Clauncher is potentially pretty insane. I say potentially because unfortunately it is pretty inconsistent sometimes. So other times it's like an insane carry. It can wipe out like at least 4 Pokemon in a single cast. Other times though, if it like just hits a unit that's off to the side, then it's not like a waste, but it's not going to live up to the full potential of the cast, because how it works is it hits one opponent and then also damages all adjacent opponents. And so you want to be playing against like a team that's packed all their units into a single area to get the most out of that ability. And we also yeah, I think the Green Orb is a bit better on the Whismer because the Whismer is a sound unit. Also the Shell Bell on the Kamala. Really nice to be able to itemize the Kamala fully at this point because of the recycle ticket that we have. Recycle ticket is something that I haven't always like paid attention to in terms of like the potential benefits of having all those items on a single unit and then just being able to recycle it later, because in this case we're probably going to want to put those items onto our legendary, but we don't really want to have to sell our unique, especially a normal sound unique. Being able to keep those synergies at this point in the game is really useful, because I don't think we'd be able to get sound and normal unless we somehow get some more friend bows. And getting to put these items onto like a Meloetta would be really nice. Even if it's a frontline Meloetta, that would be good because of the heavy duty boots and Shell Bell. Or we could just take the ability power items and then include the Big Eater belt as well. That would probably be really nice on a backline Meloetta, because in case you haven't figured out yet, the Meloetta is probably what we're going to want to go for a legendary, so that we can get a pretty smooth transition into, not transition, but just a smooth movement into normal 9 while also having sound 6. And we get some good wins. Kamala's carrying pretty well so far after stage 10, a 3-win streak, so we've won every round so far. That being said, those rounds were won against players that are below us, at least the last 2. I'm not sure who we fought before that. Either way though, either another fossil or spoon, both of those are really good items. We also get the Loudred. I probably shouldn't waste too much time being annoying with my pronunciation, but the nuances for like how Pokemon names are pronounced is fun because like, is it supposed to be loud? Like, do you emphasize the difference or like the transition between loud and red, or just flow through the word loud red or loud red? Yeah, I'm not sure. I just like it. I enjoy sounding like a schizophrenic while I'm talking to a microphone by myself in my bedroom. That's what making YouTube is all about. Um, that being said, we play the Steel Artificial team again, and it's a pretty close game. If we were able to take out this Dhelmise sooner, we probably could have won this game, but we had it at like under 30% health for a while, and it just wasn't going down. Do we have we do have the Jigglypuff, so that is adding sound to the team. Execute also added into the game, which doesn't really help us, but it's always cool to see because that's a super fun Pokemon to be able to play. For some reason, I'm thinking about the Lucky Ribbon. Not that the Lucky Ribbon is like terrible, but it's not like much use out of luck. It does give ability power, but it was honestly kind of a misplay making the Lucky Ribbon. And even if we did make the Lucky Ribbon, it's probably a misplay to put it on the Clauncher, because we could have made use of that item more effectively if we just put it on like some other unit, because once we get into normal 9, every single unit that has a Silk Scarf made item is going to get plus 30% base attack and then 30 ability power. But it doesn't stack, so even if you have 3 Silk Scarf items, you're only going to get a single one of those buffs. Speaking of buffs, having that normal gem would be incredible for this team. It would be pretty much a free normal 9 sound 6 team. Maybe not free, because we do need one more Pokemon that has the natural overlap. So hopefully we do get that Meloetta. And then that's really great if we want to get like Chansey on the team as well. So we can play more Fairy and then have a frontline unit that's bulky and also supports the rest of the team. Or actually, because we have the long wand, Chansey could be somewhere mixed into the back line. So right now it would be really nice if we got like the Meloetta and then we could play Chansey somewhere in the back line, just pumping out shield. And I'm kind of confused as to what I'm looking at the moment. We have a normal gourmet team, which is pretty cool, but right now their carry is a Togepi, which is interesting. I'm not sure if they had any items on their Tauros, but I feel like if you're gonna have a carry with those specific items, it might be better to have the Tauros instead of the Togepi. They were pretty incredible items. Having the Big Eater Belt and Flame Orb, that combo is going to give a lot of attack. With Choice Specs, there's no downside as well. But I don't think Togepi is going to be dealing as much damage as you want. But maybe it's just a holdover. They're probably going to get those items onto their T20. And for us, you know, maybe I shouldn't be talking about bad itemization with this horrendous looking Clawitzer with those 3 Silk Scarf items. That being said, Klotzer almost did pull back the win for us. Took out like 3 units with a single cast, which is cool to see, but what is not cool to see is Fairy. I do not enjoy playing against Fairy. Maybe I'm just on the hate bandwagon because Fairy is so powerful this patch, but I mean, what can you do? Like, a really strong synergy is not fun to play against, no matter what. And we do get 8 normal going into stage 20, pretty close to pretty close to level 8. So we could get normal 9 at level 8, which would be really nice. A really early buff as well, since we already have some Silk Scarf items. And once we get to level 9, we could either make a Big Eater belt or a Mock band. I'd probably go for the Big Eater belt just because, I don't know, I like that item. Mock band is good for a backline attack unit. But what's unfortunate is that we don't get our portal, but we stay winning because we get Arceus. So we don't need the Meloetta because Arceus is going to be sound and normal type. And we just put a Big Eater belt on Arceus, which is fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt it, but there's not a whole lot of stats that it's going to be increasing. It'll get those stat buffs from normal, which is nice. But we make a good decision, and we take the recycle ticket from Kamala, and we get some defensive units onto the Arceus instead. And Soldu, probably on the Loudred. Loudred has a good ability, but I think it also suffers from the same weakness that Klotzer does. Klotzer is a bit more consistent, of course, because it's a 4-range unit. But Loudred, I think, has the same issue. Plus, it's only a 2-range unit. But I guess that's not, like, terrible. Because if it's a 2-range unit, then Pokemon, enemy units are going to be able to surround it more easily. So in some cases, I'm sure it's fine, or even better. And I'm actually incorrect. The ability Loudred actually does 10 special damage to every unit within its attack range for 3 seconds. So actually, I need to reread that. So every second for 3 seconds. So it should be dealing 10 special damage 3 times. So 30 damage to anything within that range before doing any of those buffs that it's going to get on in terms of ability power. Such as the Soldu and I think just the Soldu because it doesn't have any Silk Scarf items. We could have taken the choice specs, but I don't mind the Stardust. Having a stronger front line is really nice since we have such a strong backline already. I do like Arceus in terms of, its ability to be super great for your synergies, but I do find that it very often just dies so fast. It doesn't feel like a very great frontline unit unless you have the synergies to make it last, like if it's on a rock or a monster team and it's itemized well. But I might just be like interpreting things badly because Look how fast it dies in this round. I mean, maybe it was targeted like first from entire team of Fairy, which is gross and disgusting, and I hate Fairy, and I hate looking at a Kirlia with a crit set, especially a Scope Lens, Razor Claw, Razor Fang crit set. It just grosses me out not seeing a Reaper Cloth on a Kirlia, which grosses me out in a different way. But for now, I'm trying to get up to level 9 just so I can add in another sound unit, get up to sound 6, which would be a huge boon for the team. Being able to cast even faster. That'd be nice for all our sound units, especially Klotzer, Loudred, Komala. They're all going to benefit from that in terms of the damage they deal, and also Komala being able to get even more shield. Luckily our Arceus isn't focused on immediately, so it's able to do some damage from the back, while the rest of the enemy team focuses on like our fodder units, like Squavit, Pidove. Pidove is absolutely like doing nothing. He got 19 damage, so he did more than Squavit, which is just a synergy fluff at this point. Hopefully we can get some stronger normal units, like Happiny. Could probably use a Ditto on that. Porygon is fine, but I do really want some frontline units. I'm not sure what else I would get in terms of normal for frontline. I don't know what the ad picks are, but if we got like a Hippowdon or a Diglett, something ground normal would be nice. We do get a Muscle Band though, which will go well onto the Komala. Oh, and we spun past a Porygon. I was kind of talking down on Porygon earlier, but just because it's not like a front line unit doesn't mean it wouldn't be absolutely incredible for the team. We just spun past 2 Happinis, and now we're just wasting our money. Please forgive me for that one. I might be an idiot, but I'm also stupid. Not that it matters though, because once you get 9 normal, 6 sound, the game just kind of plays itself for you. And we stay winning because we get the Porygon anyways, even if we rolled past it earlier. Porygon is just so fun. Like being able to see the synergies that you can get out of it from the enemy team. Also, we spun past a Stuffle, which probably could have been slightly better than the Squavit. I'm not sure what the defensive stats are on that, but I'm sure it would be a small buff for the team. Either way, it's not the one doing the hard work on this team. Arceus is doing pretty well, got a lot of frontline damage, and then our backline is just there to sweep things up. I rolled past another Stuffle, which kind of sucks. I could have got a Beware, but Beware sucks. It's an ugly Pokemon, and I hit it, and so it's fine. We'll just get the Ditto. That'll be nice if we find a Happiny. And we're in top 2, which is great. But the other guy has 67 health, which is a bit intimidating, especially if they're a fairy team. They have a lot of stuff that they could roll at this point in the game to increase their team's strength. Also, we get that trash on the Squavit just for the aura, make that Squavit look big. take out the Kamala fast. Um, the Muscle Band is nice, but it probably isn't too effective against a fairy team. Because getting those defensive buffs isn't going to do enough. We get to Fairy 4 though, which is nice, especially on the Arceus. I probably should have had some more foresight on playing Muscle Bands against a lobby with 2 Fairy players. But, I mean, if you're getting heart scales, there's not really much else you can, like, play for, maybe. I'm not completely sure, to be honest. Because, I mean, you can use those magnets on something else, and then, like, you can make a Rocky helmet, maybe. And this is a misplay by me. I evolved the Porygon, which, that's fine. I mean, Porygon is a super strong unit, but if I was going to play the Porygon 2, then why didn't I just put the Blue Orb on that? Obviously, the Blue Orb gives a little bit of mana, which is nice for the Happiny since it's giving the team a shield, but if I'm going to evolve something, it needs to be the Happiny and need to be able to have a stronger front line. So that was just a really weird play for a Happiny that's not going to be super strong on the front line. What is super strong though is the Porygon 2. Up there on the damage charts. That being said, the Clodsir does pull through and it gets us the win with that last cast. Probably could have gotten an Exploud if I was paying attention and wanted to roll for it. But I guess that just doesn't happen. For some reason I take the Happiny and put it closer to their team, and then also take the Porygon and put it closer to the front line, which I don't understand. I think either way, like, unless we put our backline units on the front line, I think we're gonna win either way because our team is just so strong. We do have 2 more games left, at the very least. Sorry about that. People like to just, like, blast their motors down my street, which I don't mind if it's not, like, the middle of the night. Unfortunately, we do have some people that drive by with, like, their homemade motorbikes or their shitty cars, whatever kind of car it is. I know it's shitty because it's automatically a shitty car if you're waking me up. Now I start holding on to the Whismers, which is a little hopeful, but potentially the last round here, and we get a good start, maybe. I don't know. They take out our front line pretty quickly, but our back line is what's actually doing the work. The Tinkatink is trying so hard. It's there. It's the last thing unit. It's the last. Excuse me. Never mind. I was gonna diss on Tinkatink, but I don't deserve to have that privilege after fumbling my words like that. I do deserve to celebrate this win though. Pretty solid win. I'm happy I got 6 sound. That was probably what helped me win this game, being able to stack on those buffs for the back line. Clodsir was an absolute unit. Could have definitely, like, sped out those Silk Scarf items, and I think, oh, that was actually our second attempt with normal, so that's cool. We tried to do a similar thing in our first attempt, but it just didn't work out that well with the crit set Regigigas getting 5th place. Also, it displays 8 on our synergy, but it doesn't display synergies you get from gems. So it was 9, but obviously it just doesn't show that way. And we did roll for sound. Spoilers, I'm not going to show that game because I did it on my laptop and I couldn't figure out how to... Well, I could figure out, but I messed things up and I didn't record the game. But it's fine anyway because that was a very boring sound game.